jalapeno cheese bagels. The crispy outside, but the chewy inside. To my electric mixing bowl, I'm gonna add 1.5 cups of warm water, lukewarm water, about 110 to 115 Fahrenheit. I have been making bread like this for years. I just use warm water. I've never even had to check the temp. It's always worked, just warm water. I'm using my adorable measuring spoons from Ora. If you guys want a set, I have a coupon code and I'll put it in the description. I'm gonna add 2.25 teaspoons of yeast. I'm just using this traditional dry Acta. It's the same as like one of those little packages you get in the store. 2 teaspoons of brown sugar. I like to overfill the teaspoons. If you don't want to use brown sugar, just use white. I'm gonna give it a really good whisk here and then let it sit on the counter for 5 minutes to activate. It's gonna go from muddy water to foamy and frothy on the top. It's actually pretty fascinating to watch. If you sit here for the 5 minutes, you can actually see all of it rise to the top. It might be hard to see, but it's all frothy. That's what you want. A sprinkle of salt, maybe 1.5 teaspoons. So this is the same pretzel recipe that I made the other day. I've never used this pretzel recipe to make bagels before, but I think it's gonna work and I think they're gonna be delicious, so trust the process. 4 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm gonna put this into the electric mixer and knead it for about 5 minutes. Our dough was in the mixer for 5 minutes. As you see, it's nice and smooth and kind of looks like a rock. So this is obviously a trial because I don't even know if you're gonna see this video, for one, because I've never done it this way. And I was thinking that because I was making jalapeno cheese, and I'll probably do a different kind for the other one, I probably should have put the jalapeno and the cheese in with the liquid before I put it in the mixer, but we're gonna try to add it now and see what happens. So if you see this video, this recipe was a success, and if you don't, it failed me terribly. I'm gonna try to incorporate the jalapenos in the dough that's already mixed now. Not all my crazy ideas work. I'm starting to become overwhelmed. I am extremely skeptical about this. I'm gonna put it into the bowl. I'm gonna cover it and I'm gonna place it somewhere warm to double in size, at least an hour. So I'm just gonna put it into my oven with the light on. This is the rest of the dough. We're gonna put it into a bowl. We're gonna cover it. We're gonna put it also somewhere warm. We're gonna just do these ones plain to see if that pretzel recipe works for a bagel. Well, it looks like it did what it was supposed to, so I think this is gonna work. I am not sure how many bagels this is going to make. Maybe I should start with, I think 4. They look like good sizes. I have each piece. I'm just gonna kind of roll it into a little ball like that. Then I like to poke a hole and just rotate until you get the perfect bagel shape. So again, taking each of my pieces of dough, kind of folding it all into the middle, like that. I like to just push a hole and just rotate it until you get the perfect bagel shape. I put the jalapeno cheese ones to the side and we're gonna work on the plain ones now. I'm gonna repeat the same steps. It looks like that recipe got me 8 bagels. So normally people boil some water with some baking soda, but when I did my pretzels, I just put them in some hot water and about 1/4 cup of baking soda and they worked perfect. But you do you. It worked for me. Everybody always asks why we do this step. This is the baking soda and the water is what gives the bagel or your pretzels that dark golden brown. It gives it that hard on the outside but chewy texture and that very unique flavor. It's a step you don't want to skip. I'm going to take each of my bagels and place them into that water. They don't need very long, maybe 15 seconds, just making sure it's completely wet. And then I'm gonna put them on a cookie tray lined with some parchment paper. I have all my bagels on the parchment paper. I'm gonna brush each of them with some egg wash. Now to my plain ones, I'm going to leave them just the way they are, but the jalapeno cheese ones, I'm gonna add some slices of jalapeno to the top. I'm gonna top them with some freshly grated cheese. We're putting these into the oven at 425 degrees. I cooked the pretzels for 10 minutes, so I'm gonna start at 10 minutes and see what happens. Can we just take a minute to appreciate those jalapeno cheese bagels? So these baked at 425 degrees for 10 minutes, my regular ones, but I kept the jalapeno cheese ones in for 5 minutes extra. So they took 15 minutes and the regular ones took 10. I can't believe how pretty they are. Like, listen. They've got that hard exterior and they're probably so chewy on the inside. Now I really don't want to cut it open because it's so pretty and it's still so hot, but we need to look. We need to see. Hard on the outside, but chewy on the inside. Now these are straight out of the oven. I'm not putting anything on them. Let's try it. This is where I should mention I don't like jalapeno. Just kidding.